So after that little hiccup there, I've left it to dry and everything just nicely, and then I'm just going to continue building up this light layer. Alright, this nice light misty layer coming in from all angles, and then I'm just going to cut to air just to let this misty coat nicely dry, because it's only a misty one, as you can see, not much has gone on there. It'll dry pretty quick. I mean, it's probably pretty much dry now really, and then we could come in with the normal coats, right? So we probably need 2 of these coats where we sort of just spray on and we keep spraying until it sort of starts looking a bit wet, right? And then we move along. But the whole idea is just to not let it get too wet. We don't want it to build up. I had a little bit of a spit there, so I'm just going to clean the end of my nozzle just in case, and we're just going to build it up. Just don't let it look wet, alright, because that's where you start getting the paint pooling up and it not looking too nice. It's just nice to keep all your coats nice and light. And there we go, there's like basically our second coat. Now if we hadn't put that if we hadn't put the PVA glue down, we would probably see that soaking into the wood, and we'd kind of spray it down, it look okay, and you give it a bit of time and it soaks into the wood, and the wood colour comes back through, and you're ending up putting coats and coats and coats down. But we shouldn't really have that problem. Hopefully you can see already we're getting already sort of nice and grey. I could cut to wear and probably put on another coat in a sec. And what you want to do is just keep doing that until you build it all up. Just as a quick one as well, I did forget to sort of quickly sort of show you. I'll have to bring you in as close as we can get with this. These little pins that are going to go basically just on here like so. Got to make sure they're nice and flat. I don't know if you can quite see it, but they do sort of curl up on the ends. So they're kind of doing this. Right, and what you want to do is make sure they're nice and flat, because when we actually glue them down, we don't want them curling up because it's going to look a bit off. So plain and simply, you could get out some pliers or even some photo etch bending tools, and what we simply do is grab them like so, and then if you can just focus on the camera, maybe move that out the way, then what we're going to do is, as you can see, there's a not quite straight. Right, so trying to get you to focus, maybe bring you out a bit. So what you do is just with your thumb, you just want to sort of bring it up just that little bit, right, just so it's starting to be straight. And you only need a little bit on these. I don't know what it is with the manufacturing process that makes them all sort of curl a little bit, but you just need to give them a slight little bend just to get them being more flat, so when they sit down they're going to sit down a bit sort of flatter, and then we'll put them on a cocktail stick ready to spray these up as well. You want to pretty much spray everything, even stuff that, like, you know, these gun barrels, yeah, you might kind of think, oh, they've already been painted and everything. I just find it's better and more safe if we just spray everything, and you know, everything's sort of good, everything's had, you know, primers, you know, everything's had a main coat, we're going to put a matte coat on at the end, you know, everything gets everything that it needs. So with our primer all nice and done now, what we want to do is use our colour that we're using. We are going to be using, as we did on the launch, we've got 70.913, which is yellow ochre. This is by Vallejo, and it's their model colour range. These paints are sort of, can be used for like brush painting, so they do tend to be a little bit on the thick side, so we do have to give them a little bit more thinners than normal. So using the homebrew thinners, right, and as I say, you need to get a little bit in there, not more than normal, right, because you'll probably see it go in, it's quite on the thick side, right, which is kind of good, because it does mean that we get more paint for our money when it comes to spraying, which is it's one of these things actually in sort of modeling. I know it's sort of a nice thing to have all these airbrush paints that you can see behind me ready to sort of just add like 50-50 mix of thinners to paint, but you know, all these thick paints, you can still thin them down and still spray them just as good, but you just basically get more paint for your money. So I do like it when they do that, right? But you do have to sort of add that little bit more thinners. You're always just after that sort of nice milky consistency. Getting out some locking tweezers just to hold this nicely, and it's the same sort of spraying as you would do for our primer. Just start off with that light misty coat, you know, where you just see the paint just going down. Right, and this just helps it to, again, stick to the model better. It helps all the coats that come afterwards stick down a lot better. We can cut to air just to nicely dry that pretty quick. It is thin, so it should dry pretty quick as well. And then we can come in with a normal light coat. A light coat is, we want to sort of get good coverage, but as soon as we start seeing it getting anywhere near a bit wet, you want to be moving along, and it'll probably take maybe 2 or 3 coats to get that, you know, all nice with good coverage. And hopefully, as you could see with that on there already, that 2 coats there, it's sort of bringing that nicely together. Nice bit of woodwork showing through, all that kind of texture and stuff. The same goes for our cannons and any other bits that need to be black. I personally like to use the Vallejo Model Air 71057, but pretty much any black will do for that. So with all the spraying done now, just a quick one here, cleaning out your airbrush, really sort of crucial when coming to airbrushing. Loads and loads of times, you know, people could come to me saying, you know, I'm having this problem, and a lot of the times it's going to be down to your airbrush getting clogged up, being dirty. So always, you know, get out some sort of airbrush cleaner, right, pour it into our colour cup. I like to just nicely, quickly pinch the end, right, and you just gurgle that up, right. Just don't put it all the way down and all the way back. Just, you know, a nice bit of a gurgle going on there, so it's not sort of spitting out, which I'll sort of show you if you kind of really sort of, it can like spit out like that, which is, you know, potentially a bit dangerous. Maybe wear some goggles for this bit, but, you know, a nice light little gurgle, and there we go. Always tip it upside down as well. You want to make sure that any bits that have been sort of broken up here are going to come out the colour cup end, because the colour cup end is nice and big. Our nozzle end is too small, and you can end up sort of like blocking up your airbrush even more, right? So we do that a couple of times, and then basically you want to blast through some of your airbrush cleaner and keep blasting it until it comes out nice and clear. Right, other thing is airbrush cleaner. This is the homebrew airbrush cleaner, which is, you know, basically IPA, water and ammonia. If you don't want to sort of use ammonia and you sort of just want to clean your airbrush out, do you know what, Vallejo does a really nice airbrush cleaner. Not only that, I have found that this stuff actually ends up being quite a good airbrush cleaner. I know it's not for airbrush cleaner, it's the hobby colour thinners, but actually it does clean your airbrush up really well, actually, this stuff. So I do like this as well.